What's going on YouTube? It's your guy Darian, Bowtie, Fragrance Guy, the channel where we talk about fragrances as well as fashion. You never get a second chance to make a first impression, so why not make your first impression your best impression? So if you like smelling good and looking great, then you found the right channel. Go ahead and click the subscribe button. And take another quick second to hit the bell icon as well to ensure you get notified every time I upload new content on this channel. So guys, on today's video, me and my co-hosts are going to be bringing you 10 fragrances that make women weak in the knees. Women that get, in the words of Jeremy, the best ladies' reactions. So we're going to be talking about 10 fragrances today, man, that women really love. And some of these fragrances are going to surprise you. Well, yeah, I know what you guys are thinking. You don't see Miss Bowtie, and I said my co-host, but my co-host of the day is going to be Coko. Okay? Coko is going to help me co-host this video today. So Coko, what are these fragrances on this list today? What do they make? What do they make you? What do they make you? See, told you. These are fragrances in my collection that make women weak in the knees. And me and Coko are gonna go through these 10 fragrances today. So if you wanna see what fragrances made this list, you know the routine. Keep it locked right here. All right, guys, we're back. Thank you so much for keeping it locked in, man. We're going to go ahead and jump right into this video. Again, 10 fragrances that seem to make the ladies weak in the knees. And the first fragrance that we have up on today's list comes from the House of Creed, and this one is called Royal Oud. Royal Oud. And yes, while, of course, Aventus could have made this list, I wanted to talk about some other fragrances in my collection that are not as popular. Now, a lot of these fragrances, of course, you have heard of. Some of them people rarely talk about, but I think that this one is one from the House of Creed that needs even more recognition, and this one, Royal Oud. When I first got this one, it was a little bit different because it was a little bit atypical for what Creed does, which was, of course, the summer and the spring fresh fragrances. But this one is sexy and masculine. Coko, what happens when you smell Royal Oud? That's right. That's exactly what this fragrance does, man, because it is so, like I said, it's so sexy. It has that angelica in it. It has the oud in it, and of course, cedar wood. So this thing just works magic. Sillage on this is amazing. Somebody walks past you and they catch that sillage, they're going to respond. So check this one out from the House of Creed. Again, this is called Royal Oud. All right, fellas, quick fashion check of the day. Now, I'm rocking a suit that I got, of course, from Spear & McKay. Fine suits, guys, and I have an amazing video that is coming up soon. You guys are going to really enjoy this. I'm going to take you through the do's and the don'ts guide from A to Z on, from the time you get a new suit to taking it altered and getting it tailored and the whole nine. And it's a suit I got from Spear & McKay. As always, I have links down below if you want to check Spear & McKay out to get $20 off of your first, $20 or 20% off of your first order. So make sure you check that out if you're interested in finding a new suit or a nice shirt, because of course my shirt, as well as Spear & McKay, Time Pocket Square today are courtesy of the man himself, Tom Ford. So anyway, let's keep this train moving. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list comes from the House of Mont Blanc, and this one is Mont Blanc Legend. Fellas, trust me and believe me, this fragrance has been out since 2011, but still, this fragrance makes women weak in the knees. And the great thing about it, of course, as you guys know by now, this thing doesn't cost a lot. But that's something I love about fragrance, man. A lot of times the fragrances that are very expensive and unique and different that a lot of fragrance connoisseurs are really attracted to are not really the fragrances that are going to cater to the masses. And again, we're talking about responses and how fragrances cater to other people when you wear them. Oftentimes you're going to find fragrances like this that just work. And guys, I'm telling you again, if you want a fragrance that's going to get very, very positive responses, making weekend and ease, this is one. Coko, what happens when you smell this fragrance? It just is what it is. So you guys know what this one is. It smells a lot like Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce, and that's how I found this fragrance. I was looking for an alternative to that particular fragrance because I used to go back into the when I went into the Abercrombie store back in the day, this fragrance was like almost 90, 100 bucks, you know, for a 1.7 ounce bottle. And at that time, I was looking for something a little bit more cost effective, and I found this beauty right here. So check it out if you like Abercrombie and Fitch Fierce. Percival from Parfums de Marly, then of course you'll love this one from Mont Blanc. This is Mont Blanc Legend. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list comes from the house of Yves Saint Laurent, and this is YSL, and this is Le Parfum. Now, honestly, I could have really used any fragrance from this particular line, but I just grabbed this one because it's the latest release, which of course to me maintains the integrity of the original. A little bit sweeter on the dry down. Not quite as aquatic, but man, this stuff is so good. And just like the original Y EDT, same response from this one. This is just one of those fragrances that's going to appeal to the masses, and they like it. It smells great when you put it on, and that's just what most people that you come into contact with are going to respond to. Things that just smell good, and that's definitely this one right here. Coko, what happens when you smell this fragrance right here? Told you, this one works in that category. So check it out from the house of Yves Saint Laurent. This is called Y Le Parfum. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list, we're going to the house of Initio Parfums, and this one is called Oud for Greatness. Oud for Greatness. This one is definitely going to get some great reactions and make them weak in the knees. As a matter of fact, Coko, what is this fragrance? What happens when you smell this fragrance? And that's because it's so sexy. This fragrance has notes, of course, of oud. There's some lavender in this, as well as saffron and musk. Again, masculine, sexy goodness right here. So check this one out from the house of Initio Parfums. This one is called Oud for Greatness. All right, the next fragrance on the list comes from the house of Maison Francis Kurkdjian, and this one is called, of course, Baccarat Rouge 540. Guys, not only do guys love this fragrance, but of course women love this fragrance. Not only for themselves, but they love it on a guy. Coko, what is this fragrance? What does it do when you smell this fragrance right here? This fragrance features notes of ambergris. There's some musk in here, some saffron. Oh man, and this just works, man. This stuff just works. And this one, of course, features a bitter almond note. It's something that's different from the original. But man, if you're looking for a fragrance, of course, that is going to get you some great reactions, then this is one that I highly recommend from the house of MFK. Of course, this is called Baccarat Rouge 540. This is the extrait. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list, I talk about this fragrance a lot, but hey, it is with good reason, from the house of Bond Number 9. You know what this is, man. This is Lafayette Street. Lafayette Street from Bond Number 9. And this fragrance has some ambrox in it. It has some coriander in the opening. Oh man, sandalwood and tonka bean as it dries down. And Coko, what does this fragrance do when you smell this fragrance? What happens to you? And if that wasn't good enough, then I have some positive reinforcement about this fragrance. I'm gonna ask Miss Bowtie, what kind of reaction does this make you have, Miss Bowtie? Let them know. Trust. So good. Man.
I think that's the probably one of the first and best reactions I've ever had to a fragrance.
This stuff, guys, just get this fragrance in your life. What are you waiting for? Check this stuff out from the house of Bond Number 9. This is called Lafayette Street. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list is this is just really good. If you're in the gourmand sense, you gotta put this one in your life. You gotta smell it from the house of Christian Dior, the private collection. This one is called, of course, Fève Délicieuse. Fève Délicieuse. And this stuff is just absolutely amazing. I always tell you guys, women love fragrances that are really clean and mass appealing and have florals, or they love the really, really sweet stuff. Of course, this fragrance is unisex, but man, you need to check this stuff out if you like a gourmand. If you haven't smelled this one and you smelled Kilian's Angel Share, they kind of put me in the mindset of one another. Not saying that, you know, Angel Share clone this, but they smell similar to one another. You have caramel in this, you have praline, cacao, tonka bean. There's a nice cherry note in the opening of this as well. Coko, what does this fragrance do what happens when you smell this one? Guys, check it out. Check it out from the House of Christian Dior, of course, the private collection. This is called Fève Delicieuse. All right, guys, the next fragrance on this list comes from the house of Azzaro, and this is Azzaro Wanted by Night. Once again, guys, it's proof that you don't have to spend a lot of money to smell great and to attract the ladies, because this one right here, you can get this at a great bargain, and it is so good for a fragrance that is just really going to catch ladies and women's attention. I'm telling you right now, I know there are some people that can vouch for this fragrance down in the comment section that have put their nose on this, that have worn it and have gone out and seen the reactions from people. This stuff just works. It has some leather in here. It's really, really fruity when it opens up. A nice red cedar wood note as it starts to really dry down. ISOE Super is in this as well. And man, this stuff just is, you know what, Coko, what happens? What happens to you when you smell this right here? Just tell them. Do it for me. Fellas, put this one in your life, man. Like I said, it's not gonna break the bank, and it's gonna make her think. From the house of Azzaro, this is Azzaro Wanted by Night. All right, guys, the next fragrance on the list comes from the house of Giorgio Armani, and this one is called Acqu Di Gio Absolute. This is Acqu Di Gio Absolute, and guys, to me, this fragrance right here is criminally underrated. And I think what happened with this fragrance is that when it came out, people were kind of confused maybe about the bottle, because you have this nice, at least wooden type cap on this bottle. And I think people were looking for a more sophisticated kind of take on the Acqu Di Gio DNA, and you got this. But if you look past the exterior, of this fragrance and what you may expect it to smell like based on the bottle presentation, and just take it for what it is, this is a nice, mass appealing scent that women love. Trust me, nobody really talks about this fragrance, and women love this stuff when I wear it. It has a nice fruity opening, a very unique pear note that you're gonna find in this fragrance right here. So guys, trust me. And if you don't believe me, just ask Coko. Because Coko, what does this fragrance do? Guys, take a look at this one. If you've dismissed it because of a review that you heard, or whatever the case may be, I highly encourage you to check it out. Because if you're looking for a fragrance that are going to get great responses from females, check this one out from the house of Giorgio Armani. This is Acqu Di Gio Absolute. All right, guys, and last but not least on the list today, this fragrance comes from the house of Roja Dove, and this one is called Elysium. This is called Elysium. Guys, I'm not going through notes on this because I always tell you this fragrance note breakdown on this is longer than an encyclopedia, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time on notes, but just know this thing smells amazing. It does smell like a vintage, but this has that juniper berry that's really, really prominent in this thing right here. I almost say it's this, guys. True story. I wore this fragrance yesterday and I got 6 compliments in one day. Trust me, it works. And if you don't believe me, Coko, what happens when you smell Elysium from Roja Dove? So guys, if you don't believe me, believe Coko. Because this is a good fragrance and going to get you some positive ladies' reactions. So check this one out from the house of Roja Dove. This one is called Elysium. All right, guys, that's it. That's my time. I hope you enjoyed this video as we had some fun as I talked about 10 fragrances in my collection that make the ladies weak in the knees. As always, I appreciate your time and attention to these videos because, of course, you could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're right here with me, and I sincerely appreciate that. Now, don't forget to take a few moments to go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And go ahead and share these videos out to folks that you think could use this information or find me, Miss Bowtie, and Coko entertaining, because I'm your guy, Darian, the Bowtie Fragrance Guy. I love to look good, and of course, I love to smell amazing. So until next time, guys, keep looking good, keep smelling even better. I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.